Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is October the 5th, 2023. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. It's been a bit of a rainy day, bit of a little bit cooler today, but it's been nice. Got to bust out the sweatpants. Let's see here. But before we get into the day, I did have a nice night after we left off from where I left ya. I did get that walk in, so yay, awesome. We love to see it. Also, it was a very nice moment because it was one of those situations where I was walking around. I got to randomly run into a coworker while I was walking. So I was like, oh wow, this is a little crazy happenstance moment. So it's nice to chop it up with them, catch up, all that kind of stuff. Plus, it was just nice to be out. Sky looked nice. I'm definitely a sky guy. I like looking out at a nice scenic view. But yeah, no, it was very nice. But we woke up today, and of course, my foot was hurting, and that was annoying. But it isn't as bad, so that's good. And it's kind of like I alternate feet problems, so yay, back to the right foot. But overall, we're doing good, feeling good. I did have some spicy cheddar popcorn that I had like for this like little bit of like a layover snack, and I just brought some to work with me. And I gotta say, it is yummy, but like it's crazy because they're giving me almost too much of two good things. They're giving me like this really good cheddar popcorn in this, and then they're also giving me a very nice heat, like very nice hot popcorn. But like together, it's too much. It's too overwhelming in a way. But once I kind of eat a couple, I get really into them, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, these are really good. So that's my food review there. I should have the name of it, but I don't. I think it's like ridiculously good. Like that's the name of the brand, or crazy good. I don't know. And they like have little popcorn stuff. I got it as a little treat gift. But anyway, let's see. That's the food corner. Talked a little life corner. We're walking, we're talking. Yeah, that's more or less it. I'm gonna go ahead and take my classic startup break. If you know, you know. All right. All right, macaroons. Oh, bit of a corrections corner before I continue. Um, on the Kaiser Permanente thing, when I initially was doing my research, up until like when I read it out loud, I realized I had this thought about it, and it's like I know that there were frontline like workers like of Kaiser Permanente, but in my head when I hear that term or I hear their name, I think about like the people who do the medical insurance and like the people who do just the clerical stuff. And I was like, oh wait, no, these are like the frontline workers, like nurses and things like that. So I was like, okay, let me peel that back, run it back, and state that for the record. But anyway, let's get into today's news, what we found and gathered from The Guardian. U.S. student held in Dubai for weeks for tapping security officer's arm. Elizabeth Polanco de Los Santos, a New York college student, arrived in Dubai in July, meaning to take only an hours long layover during an international trip. But because she allegedly touched an airport security officer's arm, she was detained there for more than 2 months and endured the threat of spending more than a year in prison before she was cleared to return home Tuesday, according to an advocacy group which supported her. The name of the advocacy group is Detained in Dubai, which I feel like is like a good acronym of DID. Yeah. But Polanco's nightmare stay in Dubai began as she traveled back to New York City from Istanbul with a friend on July 14th when her ordeal began. The 21-year-old, a business arts major at Lehman College in the Bronx, had stopped there for a connecting flight when airport customs officers told her to take off a waist compression device that she was wearing after having surgery. By the way, those kind of things you have to wear after like said surgery. It's not like, oh, you got to wear those just like everything's contained. Like no, you need to wear it. But they're like, hey, okay, you got to take it off. But though she said the officers had directed unfriendly stares at her and seemingly laughed at the appearance of her surgical wounds, Polanco gently tapped one of the women on the arm to ask for help putting the cumbersome trainer back on. Let's see. And that is from the Detained in Dubai group. They made that statement for her. Let's see. Customs officers alleged that contact by Polanco was assaulting and insulting, which is crazy. Like the only way I can picture it from their perspective, according to how they are wording it, is that like she just was like very condescending or pretentious or something, and just like aggressively poked, like this is an anime or something. But essentially, this was enough to have Polanco detained. Polanco was detained in a room for hours as officers filed a formal complaint against her that would trigger a complicated judicial process. Essentially, she had to sign something in Arabic to kind of just get out of that immediate situation, but then she wasn't allowed to reboard the plane when she went to go back and reboard. So herein is now her problem. On August 24th, judges ordered Polanco to pay a fine of 10,000 UAE dinars. I believe that's how you pronounce. Dinarums. Yeah, we're gonna say that's how you pronounce them. Whatever. The equivalent of $2,772. Polanco was able to pay the fine, but she had not been allowed to return to the U.S. because the airport customs officials appealed the sentence. Whew. That's rough. Like, that's already money out of your pocket. You're a college fucking student. Yeah, sure. You got the budget to go to Dubai, yada yada. But I'm sure you're not expecting to have a almost $3,000 fucking extra ratchet fee added on just to get back home, let alone get out of fucking detention. But let's see. That's not even the end of it. Polanco had since been told that she was facing a year in prison after already incurring a $50,000 in legal and other expenses. However, the group added Polanco had also been told that as long as everything goes well, she would be only detained until she could book herself a flight out of the UAE. So essentially, kind of what I'm skimming through here is she's like, oh, okay, so I just have to pay you guys more money, and if I just pay you, then things are going to go well, and I can just fucking get home. So I think that's more or less what she did, because if you try to appeal the situation, they're just going to get you through a bunch of fucking bureaucratic red tape, and you're fucked anyway. And, then you've already paid all these money in legal fees anyway, and then you have to wait even longer while you're in detention and you just want to fucking go home. So she's like, fine, I'll just pay it through and then just fucking get on. So she was able to get home Tuesday. Excuse me. At least it's as it's reported in the article. But yeah, I just couldn't imagine. And apparently, there is a Detained in Dubai group for this. They referenced another person who had a similar kind of situation. They had to pay like $1,000, and penalty fees or whatever. And I just could not imagine. These are the kind of nightmares that keep me from wanting to even travel, let alone I do not have the coin to do it, but let alone imagine I come up with my little paltry budget and I just want to go to my little foreign country or whatever, and I'm just trying to get from point A to point B, and then X happens, I get this. Like, I'm always thinking of the worst things, but I don't think about a government literally fucking me over, like customs literally jamming me up because they fucking can, more or less, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely a bummer story, but I am glad that Polanco was able to get home and, be with her family. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and move along. We got a Biden bundle to talk about. We're talking about Joe Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden, his dubs, and what I'm going to say his fucking losses. But let's get into it. From CNN, Biden cancels another $9 billion in student loan debt days after payments restart. So we are back at it again. Back again. Joe Byron, he's trying to make another move. The Biden administration has approved debt relief for an additional $125,000 in student loan. Let me just run it all the way back. The Biden administration has approved debt relief for an additional 125,000 student loan borrowers, totaling $9 billion, with a B, in forgiveness, the White House said on Wednesday. The announcement comes just days after federal student loan payments restarted after a 3+ year pause. So, I've heard a lot of, I've seen some memes, some jokes, in actual desperation from people being like, yo, I'm not paying this fucking shit. Fuck this shit. I don't know how I'm going to pay it. You know what I mean? So people, have been worried, but, we did talk about this in previous episodes that Biden had like an initial plan set up, but now it looks like he's unveiled even more, and he's like saying, hey, I'm actually going to come back at this again, another crack, something that's going to be hopefully harder to dispute and fight legally. So that's good. For the other side to say, oh, you can't do this isn't allowed. But let's go ahead and get into it. The cancellations announced Wednesday come through 3 different existing debt relief programs that have been plagued with problems in the past. The White House is conducting what it calls fixes to a broken student loan system. So I do like the thought of this, though granted, I don't know how effective it's going to be. Let's see here. Let me see if I can kind of find the points I wanted to hit here in this article. Nearly 51,000 borrowers who have been in repayment for at least 20 years are getting relief thanks to a recount of their past payments. The administration has found that these borrowers already qualified for student loan forgiveness, but were missing out of past administrative errors. So that's kind of like a dub, but that's kind of baked in. So it's like, it's a win. Good that you're doing the due diligence here, and that's going to help some people out. That is awesome. Let's see here. What was the next part I wanted to hit? The Biden administration has also made efforts to make monthly student loan payments more affordable. This month, about 28 million borrowers will be required to make payments for the first time since accounts were frozen under the Trump administration to help people struggling financially due to COVID-19. This summer, the administration launched a new repayment program that promises to lower bills for millions of borrowers, and recently released a Department of Education rule, which is set to take effect next year, and aims to keep tuition at for-profit colleges and career programs in check. So that's a good thing. And then lastly, the Biden administration is also pursuing another pathway to providing some student debt relief, but it's not clear who would be eligible or how much debt would be canceled. So, there's something. These are all avenues. That being said, it's kind of paltry. It's still going to be, hey, a lot of people are still going to be reshackled with this debt that they could already not handle. Times have only gotten worse. But it is something, and I hope that it's more airtight. That's what I wanted to kind of close out with here, because I literally see this man get up on a podium and say, hey, this is the deal. This is the fucking goal. We're going to do this shit. And we get the shit eliminated. And then literally it just doesn't hold fucking any kind of weight. And it goes all the way up to the Supreme Court and it just gets shot down. Now, granted, I don't know. I'm always hesitant that even this little bit could get squashed in court somehow, some way. We'll see. We'll see. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers want their bread. They're like, give us this fucking money. We need it. It's ours. We're supposed to juice these fucking children for all they have. And now they're fucking due. Fucking assholes. That was the Biden dub. I know I didn't really end there feeling like it was a dub, did I? My bad. This is the L. This is the fucking boo this man. From Reuters. Biden to build more U.S. border wall. Trump demands apology. As he should. As he fucking should, man. Like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. I cannot believe I'm having to tell y'all this shit. Like, it is head-ass fucking material that I couldn't even write. I wouldn't write. So let's get into it. President Joe Biden's administration said on Tuesday it will add sections to a border wall to stave off record migrant crossings from Mexico, embracing a signature policy of former Donald Trump. Yet again, we're just repeating ourselves here. It's just like he is mimicking this man. He's saying that he is going to be like, hey, I'm the better option. It's like, thank you, Trump Light. Oh, great. But, just like the Title 42 thing where he's like, look, we're going to come up with something, but this is what we got. We fought to get it eliminated, we couldn't, whatever. But it seems like we are kind of right back here again with the same kind of stratagem where there is a resurgence of migrants. And now Biden's administration does have a quote unquote reason for it. They're saying that, hey, this is kind of out of our control. But it's essentially saying, hey, we do have to we're going to build a portion of it. We're going to add on to this wall, which was already not effective, and it's already not doing anything, and it's wasting taxpayer dollars. But this was Trump's strategy, at least in terms of this is something that he, said, hey, I'm going to build a wall. I'm going to stop all these illegal migrants from coming over, and America's going to be better for it. And it got raucous approval, and it still does. People still want this shit. Let's see here. Where did I want to pull from? Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said in a statement that there was no new administration policy with respect to border walls. From day one, the administration has made it clear that a border wall is not the answer. But essentially they're saying, hey, we can't do anything about this. Only Congress can stop this money from being used for this wall, which was 2019. Like, this is when it got set up. But to me, I'm just like, I don't think this administration probably fought nearly as hard as it probably could. Kind of harkening back to the student loan shit, where it's just like, this is a prime example of like Biden kind of laying down, going to sleep, eating on some ice cream, and not actually fighting for the things that he said he was going to fucking fight for. So yeah, I mean, I think it's fucking stinky that we are back on this subject and actually moving forward with it even. I think it's crazy. I think it's fucking useless. But let's see here. Some 73% of Republicans and 37% of Democrats surveyed agree with the statement that immigration is making life harder for native-born Americans, which I think is just fucking dumb as fuck. Like, it's not. Like, if anything, immigration is the reason things are better and you have more options and just more growth overall in your country. But I know that people will find all kinds of ways to demean people and be like, no, the reason for all our problems is because there's so much diversity. There's so much change. There's so many new people that we don't know. Who are you? You look so different. We should build a wall so that you can't come over to be here. Even though we could totally use the help. Because we don't want to do these things at these low-ass fucking prices that are not livable. Let's see. The county is in Rio Grande, where they're planning on adding on to it, I believe. Is in the Rio Grande Valley sector, where Border Patrol agents have encountered more than 245,000 people entering the United States this fiscal year. Once again, that's from Mayorkas. I know that there are some people in the area that was like, they're like, look, this is just a garish fucking obtrusion, and this is like really great land, and it has like a whole purpose in that regard, and you're just gonna ruin it with more of this wall shit. So I do think people are kind of maybe trying to fight that, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised in terms of the uptick on migration. It's something, once again, we've talked about on this podcast before, that there was a lull for a moment, but then it just is inevitably, it's just kind of like a situational thing. Year after year, this happens, that there was going to be an uptick. And just especially with the way politics have been moving, especially with the way that everyone's just been more and more reactionary. I've seen it out of literally people in New York. You have Eric Adams just chirping, chirping, chirping. Even, Kathy Hochul, the governor or whatever, saying like, hey, we need the Biden administration to do something. And I do think in a little clever, coy way with saying, oh, the budget, there's tying our hands. We have to build the wall. So yeah, of course, Trump's saying like, yeah, where's my fucking percentage, you bitch? Also, a little bit side note, Trump has been in court. Essentially the case that we've already covered, that's more or less wrapped up already. The judge is like, he's guilty, but they have to run through the motions. I think he's more or less just kind of using this time to kind of like campaign stump speech. Weaponized Biden crime family, they're coming for me. This judge is corrupt. He's literally just talking shit and then going back into court and just chilling. So, I don't think he showed up like today or whatever, but I'm waiting to really do any coverage on that until something relevant happens. We already know the verdict. Motherfuckers just trying to fight for what? I don't know. But, we'll see. Let's see. We have one more thing to cover before I let you go. We're going to talk. And it's juicy, juicy food. I love talking about food. I don't care. Granted, it's not the fun part of food, but it's an update we need to talk about. So we'll do that. But let me take my break, recalibrate the machine, and then we will finish this episode. All right. From CNN. Ooh. McDonald's and Wendy's win false advertising lawsuit. Wendy's and McDonald's have emerged victorious from a lawsuit that accused the fast food chains of false advertising. A federal judge dismissed a lawsuit brought against the two companies, accusing them of selling smaller hamburgers than advertised and alleging the food didn't look as appetizing in person as pictured on their websites. So this is one where I totally, I wanted to vibe with the customers. I was rooting for them. I'm rooting for the people on this shit. But at the same time, I kind of was like, I kind of think that it's in the favor of the corpos here. I think it's just going to be more for McDonald's and Wendy's here. Just on the fact that they do have those stipulations that say, hey, these objects or whatever. And plus, you just know that there's literally a food stylist sculpting, spraying, like making this food look as good as possible. But, they did try to add like the statement of saying like, hey, no, like you're goosing these burgers. You're making like potentially like uncooked burgers and putting them on the display because the uncooked burgers, or at least I shouldn't say uncooked, not fully cooked, my bad. But like these not fully cooked burgers look bigger because when you fully cook a burger, it gets a little shrunk. And so when you get it, when you rip, like, and that's the thing I said, it's like, look, man, we've all been to a McDonald's. We've all gotten a burger. We unwrap it. We pop open the box. I know good and damn well that Big Mac is not going to look as juicy, juicy, juicy as it did when I saw it on TV. But, like, I'm still going to eat it. I'm still happy to eat it because I just wanted my fucking slop, and here we go. But like I said, I'm rooting for the customers to say, no, I deserve better. I saw this commercial. That's what I wanted. That's what got me in this fucking drive-through. And that's why my fucking cold fries are cold, but it should at least look good. I don't know. I do get the sentiment at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm with the people. But, it's an L. Sorry to report. The big guys won today. But yeah, score one for Big Burger. But that being said, I will still eat said burger. Though I gotta say, it's been a while, y'all. Like, I had Cane's, I talked about that. What was it, the other week, a couple weeks ago? I haven't had a McDonald's burger in a really long time. And like when I think about that, there is a certain kind of weird detachment that almost makes me feel sad, which is bad, right? Because I know so many people are like, McDonald's so bad. Ugh, I would never touch this stuff. Blah. But like, I know this is so bad American, but like I was raised on that shit. I was raised on fast food for a lot, for just various reasons. But it has like a sentimental, like it warms my heart and clogs my arteries, and like I'm okay with that in a way. And like, I know after this episode, I'm going to make my own little hamburger fry situation. But, it doesn't hit the same. I'm going to be real. It just doesn't hit quite the same. The McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken and a Pizza Hut, McDonald's. Okay, that's it. That's all I have. That's the episode. Let's see here. I got a show for a little bit. Patreon.com, so Isaiah News. If you'd like to support the effort, become a newsie today. Shout you out at the top of the month. Plug a project, thing you're doing. Free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. And then I am on X, formerly known as Twitter. Maybe I'm on X too. No. Let's see. Also, Meta, all those fun things. Find me on there. Find the podcast there. Say hello. What's up? Like a post. Speaking of liking things, put your thumbs up on my YouTube. Please, 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 please do that. Subscribe to the YouTube. Means a lot. Please give me all the good reviews you can. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you leave a positive comment. Apparently you can comment. I saw people comment on a Spotify episode. I was like, what the hell? Not mine. But you know what? And I got to say, thank you to everyone who listens and doesn't hate. If you're a silent hater, thank you. You're a real one. You're the realest one. I don't need a loud hater. I just need quiet critics. I love you to death. And thank you so much for the real ones and the good ones. Oh, you're the best. Thank you so much. But hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.